Hello, everybody. How you doing? Welcome to our weekly show. We call it Three Broke Guys Handicapping. It's where we review one of the top racing cars from around the United States. We will select a four-race sequence from that track and attempt to come to a consensus on a pick four ticket. Thank you for joining us. It's week number 17 of the 2018 racing season, and it's going to find us off the Derby Trail. And we are we're not in Kentucky, but we're in neighboring West Virginia. It's Charlestown Racing in Charlestown, West Virginia. They have a stakes pack card themselves. It's Charlestown Classic Day, and the late pick four starts in race number 8. It ends in race number 11. They're all stakes in the pick four on Saturday. My name is Rich Sharp, and each week I'm going to be joined by my friends and the racing analysts. Folks, it's our first handicapper. He is from the East Coast. He can probably get to Charlestown in about 4 hours from his home in Staten Island, New York. Ray Torado, I got it down here. If you take I-95 south, you can be at the track before sunrise, my friend.
You're right. They're actually starting early, so it'll be a nice day. Usually they start a little later, but I guess for prime time. It'll be nice. Too bad I'm going to a Pakistani wedding.
Bummer. Okay, up next, he's our West Coast handicapper, and from his home in Temecula, California, where even if Joe English left on a plane right now, I'm not sure he could be to Charlestown by sunrise. And let's face it, even if he did, he'd just be in the Hollywood casino next door anyhow. Joe, how are you doing?
Give me ace king suited every day. Yeah, I'm doing all right, Rich.
Yeah, I would have no trouble finding you in Charleston.
Yeah, probably, like I said, probably in the poker room somewhere, but I'm doing all right, guys. How's everybody doing today?
Good.
Very good. All right, last week was Oaklawn Racing in Hot Springs, Arkansas. We did not hit that pick four. None of the four of us had. We had a little bit of a discussion about him if you go back and listen to that the pick four handicapping session from last week, but none of us actually put City of Light on our top line and take home his race. So out we go. Time for a brief weather update. This is from this is not from Hot Springs, Arkansas. I'm sorry, it's from Charlestown. The forecast calls for partly cloudy. They've got a high of 61 degrees. They've got winds at about 10 to 15 miles an hour, and I believe there's like a 10% chance of rain for tomorrow still for Charlestown. A total of 12 races, 4 stakes on tap for Saturday. For today, we are focused on the pick four. It begins in race number 8 and concludes in race number 11. Gentlemen, the gates are locked and loaded. The outriders are clear, and the starter is ready to pop the gate. It's pick four post time.
Let's get the goggles on.
I love it. All right back there. Let's see. This is race number 8, and as Ray mentioned, they're going a little bit earlier this year at Charlestown. The approximate post time for the pick four is 4:01 p.m. Eastern time. It is 6.5 furlongs. It's the Downtown Allen Stakes. The purse is $35,000 for accredited West Virginia bred fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. 10 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 10. It's Moonlit Song. Trained by Timothy Grahams and ridden by Christian Geraldo, 6-5 on the Charlestown morning line. So Downtown Allen, that is the only West Virginia bred filly or mare in history to amass more than $1 million in career earnings. Bred, owned, and trained by John Casey, the daughter of Windsor Castle, finished her career with 25 wins, 21 stakes wins, and that's from 42 starts. And sadly, she was euthanized following a race in May of 2015. So, Joe, you're going to bat lead off tonight for us. And who do you like in the Downtown Allen?
Well, thanks for the history lesson. I kind of actually was wondering what Downtown Allen had to do with the stakes race and who the horse or person, if maybe I thought it may have been named out maybe after Alan Jerkins. How do I know? But thanks for the history lesson. Sadly, maybe not sadly, I guess being that the race is named for a horse that was 25 for 42 lifetime, I'm going to go with another win machine, and unfortunately, I'm going to take the morning line favorite. Moonlit Song has only run 2 bad races in the last 10, as you can see on the form. Both were against Open Company. One was at Laurel, and one was here at Charlestown. But she's not getting Open Company today. She got State Bred Company. This is her home track, 10 for 13 lifetime. Over at the Charlestown Oval, 1 loss at Laurel, which is actually one of the bad races that she run in her last 10. 9 for 12 on a fast track. So if the rain comes, I would say it's not an issue because the horses won on an off track. And this horse is owned, bred, and trained by the Grams family in some way, shape, or form. I'm taking a guess that the Graham Racing Stable has something to do with Timothy as well, since he's part of, one of the breeders and the trainer. Connection, with Christian Geraldo, 4 for 9 over the last 60 days. And it's pretty amazing that they were hitting at 44%, yet they have a negative ROI. And that's obviously because if you look in the odds column under this horse's past performances, you see a lot of 20 cents, 30 cents, 20 cents, 40 cents, 70 cents, 50 cents. And my guess is the morning line maker is being generous with that 6 to 5. You're getting probably closer to the 70 cents you see on May 20th last year. I'm thinking the horse is probably 3, maybe 4 to 5. And the horse has speed. The horse can be on the lead. The horse is won from off the lead, even at 4.5 furlongs. I just think she's head and shoulders above everybody in this field. So I'm going to try, hopefully. I mean, I understand it's a 10-horse field and things can happen in a 10-horse field, but I'm hopeful that this is a free square. So I'm taking the 10 Moonlit Song to win the Downtown Allen at Charlestown on Saturday afternoon. Ray?
Yes, sir. We got the 10. Yep, Moonlit Song. You're right. I agree with everything you say. 10 for 14. She's 10 for 13 in Charlestown, and just draw a line to the safely kept. She, open company, tired. 25 to 1. She's an outsider. What can I say? You're probably right. 3 to 5. Second race off a layoff. She get the best early pace figures. This race calls for like 50%, 70. In the back page here, we got 70. 57%. That's being modest if you look at next race. So, it'll be tough here. But you know what? First time post 10, I have a backup plan. And I'm going to say number 7, my second choice, T-Rex Express. Will be on the pace also. If Moonlit Song falters, this horse should be in good shape. She's second to Moonlit Song twice. So she's been close to her, within 3 or 4 lengths. She also has a state bred stakes win, and Bunko's 26%. And cutting back in distance and coming up for layoffs, will be a little bit fresh here. So that's my backup plan. I throw in a 7, so I'll go 10-7 in this race, and let's see, how we do here in pick 4. Rich,
I got the check mark up on Anna's Bandit, and I decided to go with a new face from another place angle, I guess is what I was looking for here. Nothing against Moonlit Song. She is fantastic, and she is on my top line as well, so I wasn't going to pass on that. Looking at the odds that Joe was talking about, the 6 to 5, and Anna's Bandit having won 3 in a row and coming up from, Laurel, which is just a short hop away from Charlestown. So not too much of a shipping for her. Got Xavier Perez in the saddle, and John Robb is a 25% trainer. I thought maybe it was worth a poke here in race number 1. I do have a single a little bit later on my ticket, so this was where I felt like I could afford to go ahead and try to take a poke at the favorite, again, with a horse that's won 3 in a row. And so I've got the 4 as my top choice here, and then I've got the 10 as my second choice on the top line. No argument with Ray's T-Rex Express, which I was saying Trex Express earlier this morning, to show you how part of it staring at me came from. All right. I'm going to come on back. Joe is single to the 10. Ray has the 10 and the 7, and I have the 4 and the 10. And we are going to go ahead and move along to race number 9. And in race number 9, they're going just 4.5 furlongs. It is called the Coin Collector Stakes. The purse is $50,000 for registered, accredited West Virginia bred 3-year-olds, 11 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 10. William and Mary, trained by James Casey and ridden by Antonio Lopez, is 9 to 5 favorite on the Charlestown morning line. I could not find a lot of information. If you Google coin collector and horse racing or horses, you will just get a Bible of information on nice coins. So I almost bought a series of Kentucky Derby winning coins, but could not really get you very much on coin collector. The best I could do, coin collector appears to have been a horse who ran on the New York racing circuit during the 1920s, and I just did not dig any deeper than that. He won a race there at Belmont Park in 1929. And that's it. So, Rich or Ray, which coin do you like best in the coin collection?
Well, we got Moonlit Song in the first race, and probably sure had a good chance of winning. So I'm gonna try and take a chance here against William and Mary, who's gonna probably be the favorite. And I'm looking at a horse here, number 5, Upper Night, with Bocachisa. Bocachisa just missed in a maiden sprint and won at 7 furlongs. The first race he probably didn't want to be that far back, and he battled for the lead in the last race. I think it was 7, not the same pace. So Bocachisa stays aboard. I think he's going to show a little more speed here. If you look at the back page, this race is significant. 84% win this race. I was like, wow, that's a big chunk there. So, but I'm going to take a chance with this horse. I think he'll be a little more forwardly placed in this race, and he might just go after William and Mary, and it should be a good race. My second choice here is number 6, Jack's Braden Ritchie. This horse has a good record, 3 for 5, a second, a third. He got a good post, coming back in distance. And another, EP type. So it's Amy Albright's 5 in the money in this meet, and Gerald Dovar. He's one of the good jockeys here. So 4.5 furlongs, no problem for this horse. This horse would be in front, close to the pace, so had a good chance. I did like number 8, Diony's Chalice. This horse, another EP type, moves up in class. Ollie Figgins, Montero had got this horse. He's back on this horse with Bocachisa going to Upper Night and moving up in class in stakes competition. Got a few wins there, so this horse will probably be forward place. So it's going to be a big battle for the lead. And I can see with the 84% winning, the track favors a little speed here, like that Los Alamitos type. So I'll go with the 5, 6, and the 8 in order. Joe?
It's funny, Ray. While you were doing that, and Rich was scrolling, and I saw the sire of Dionysus Chalice, and I was looking at the sire stats, and I see the average winning distance is 5.4, and I'm like, man, I don't think I've ever seen that before. That is about as distance limited as you can get. And and what's funny is I was looking through the other horses in the race, and actually Fiber Sande is the sire of the 2 as well. And I was like, wow. Again, it was just a weird thing as I was looking as you were.
Also.
But I mean, 5.4 furlongs is just it's incredible.
Could the horse even handle like a stiff Jerry Hollander for a workout?
Yeah. I'm just like it's crazy. I'm like I hadn't even seen that before today. And yeah, this is going to be a 4.5 furlong, and I can easily see 4 or 5 horses scrambling for the lead. The 10 is on my top line. I couldn't avoid the 10. The horse is 4 for 5 at Charlestown, and the horse has won at distances from 4.5 furlongs to 7. So if the horse had only run at 6 furlongs or 7 furlongs, maybe I could say, okay, there's a reason you can throw him out. I think the biggest knock on him is probably the post position, because there could be 4, 5, or 8 horses inside of him going for the lead around the turn. And who knows, he may be closer to the parking lot than he is to the rail tomorrow during the end of this race. But I like the 8 as well, Ray. I couldn't avoid the 3 broke guys angle. Horse has been in the money 6 times out of 9 starts at Charlestown. And I'm just thinking that maybe this horse has a little bit of a look. Horse has actually been able to close a little bit of ground, and at least he'll be a little bit inside of the favorite. So at 5-1, I figured I'd take a shot with the 8 as well as the 10. Like I said, I couldn't leave the 10 off. only because he's just been so successful at Charlestown, and he's even won against Open Company before. So the fact that he's dropping back in with state breds, and the fact, for his record at Charlestown, I couldn't avoid that. So I went 8-10, kind of hoping that the 8 wins the race because he's the longer price. But I had to include both. Rich?
Yeah, I missed the 8 there. I'm gonna have to. I'm going back right now. I'm kind of scribbling the. Every once in a while you have to add somebody back to your ticket here and like that. So I missed the 8 here. Ollie Figgin's a good trainer too.
Yeah.
As far as Charleston. So my top pick, as you saw, as a matter of fact, look at that. Ta-da! Me and Ray have got the same check mark. I've got Jeff Runco, Arnoldo Bocachica. Nice 33% combination together. That's a solid sample size, 66 races. I like Opera Night. So I read it the exact same way. I thought that this looked like a cavalry charge. And again, going 4.5 furlongs, why not? It almost seems suicidal to go with an 80-something% to go with anybody who's off the pace. But as you see here, the horse is not really I've got my little quote mark, little bunny quote marks up in the air. It's not really an off the pace type. It's not like drops all the way back and things like that. So I thought this might be a good opportunity for someone who's got a little bit of a stalking style to try and set off someone that has a nice post spot. Boca Chica is one of the top riders there at Charlestown. So I put my check mark on the 5. I did like the 10 a lot. Bill and Mary, I could not toss the 10. I have the 6, Jax, Braden, Ricci in there as well. And you know what? I'm going to have to add the 8. After listening to Joe and Ray's analysis, I kind of missed that horse. And I think the 8 deserves to be on there as well. So I fired up my buddy Torado's little Keno machine here. I went 5, 10, 6, 8. Ray went 5, 6, 8. And Joe went 8, 10. I'm going to go ahead and come on back. And we will go ahead and move along to race number 10. And race number 10, they are going 7 furlongs. I apologize. So they're going 7 furlongs on the main track. They only have a main track at Charlestown. There's no turf course. This is the Dance to Bristol Stakes. The purse is $100,000 for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. 8 starters, and your morning line favorite at 8-5 is in post number 6. It's ascertained, trained by, some of these little Charlestown trainers and riders. You never know who he's going to show up here. So he's trained by Todd Pletcher and ridden by Javier Castellana. Oh, okay. Dance to Bristol reeled off 7 consecutive wins in 2013 before finishing out of the money in the Breeders' Cup. That was her last race. Since her retirement, she has been bred to both Ghost Sapper and Medaglia d'Oro. I did not have any information on the children. That's Joe's idea. Joe, who do you like in the Dance to Bristol? And, look up some of Dance to Bristol's kids for us when you have some spare time.
Yeah, I guess I could if and when I have some spare time. This race was really difficult for me. I couldn't really separate a lot. I ascertain is going to be a short price favorite because everybody knows Todd Pletcher. It's the spring of Todd Pletcher. He's got 4 horses in the Derby. Of course, we'll get to that in another couple of weeks. The fact that Castellano comes to Charlestown is obviously he's not here to ride. Maybe he is, or here to ride Ascertain. But it's funny. I'm actually okay. He's here to ride War Story in the Charlestown Classic. But so I guess Pletcher. Either I don't know if he's throwing Pletcher a bone or Pletcher's throwing him a bone. But I guess the fact that he's shipping up from Gulfstream, maybe this is just a stop on the way to New York for the van. But he's obviously going to be difficult to handle off that last race at Gulfstream Park. But the one thing I do have to caution everybody is if you don't know the layout at Charlestown, 7 furlongs is a 2-turn race. So even if you see horses like Ascertain's gone 7 furlongs before, but he's only gone 7 furlongs 1 turn, it's a little different ball game. So I really couldn't go out on the limb and necessarily single him again. Like I said, this race turned out to be difficult for me. I like the 8 a little bit. Angel at War, coming out of the extra heat, also in New York, finishing second that day for some black type. That's a pretty good thing. And getting Joe Bravo, boy, Joe Bravo's had a pretty good spring too. Actually, maybe winter spring down at Fairgrounds. He was doing quite well down there. Horse has some tactical speed, and the horse doesn't have to be on the lead. But the horse had won its first 6 starts before, stumbling over the last 3. Maybe, like I said, this is a chance for the horse to rebound and get back to a little bit lower company, and see if he can get the job done. You know, again, he's going to have to beat Ascertain. But I also liked a couple others. Lake Pontchartrain comes off a big figure at MVR. Is that Mahoning Valley, Rich? I think you're the racetrack expert. I'm assuming that 102 is that Mahoning Valley. MVR, the track designation for Lake Pontchartrain's last start. If you don't know, don't worry about it. Horses. The horse is 8. The horse is 8 for 19 lifetime over the track. 6-year-old mare. She belongs with these if she can repeat that performance. The other horse I liked a little bit was In Spite of You, and the reason I like it is like if you have to like Todd Pletcher and Javier Castellano, you can't dismiss Tom Amoss. He wins at a pretty high percentage himself. And this horse is shipping in from what I'm assuming is 2-turn races at Delta Downs, mile and a 16th, to run at a 2-turn race in Charlestown. And I'm actually just trying to look now to see. I don't see that Tom Amoss has anybody in. He doesn't have anybody in the Classic tomorrow. So this may be the only horse that he's got on this card. I didn't check to see any of the other races to see if he's got anything else going. But this horse has won 3 in a row at Delta Downs, riding a good win streak. And, Tom Amoss is pretty good at keeping horses going well. And obviously the horse has been running once a month. So this is this is her race for April. As a 4-year-old, it seems like she just keeps getting better and better. And I guess she's taking advantage of that. And trying to win in a decent spot here. JD Acosta's 21% for the meet. So, again, it could easily be that you might single Ascertain. I'm trying, since I singled earlier in the card, I'm trying and hoping that maybe we can get a price somewhere later, and maybe it's in this spot with one of the other horses. But Ascertain does have to be on the ticket. So I went deep, 2, 3, 6, 8 in the Dance to Bristol Stakes at Charlestown on Saturday. So, Ray, take it away.
And before Ray takes it away, hang on one second here. We will confirm that it is the Mahoning Valley Race, the MVR. There you go. Take it away, Ray.
There you go. That was a big figure, too. 102. Yeah, I should take him a short price. He's hard to get past this horse. Since when did you ever see previously trained William Mott to a top Pletcher? $5,000 claim. I'm like, whoa. That's very weird.
But it wasn't eligible to be claimed that day anyway. You wouldn't think that they would do that and let Pletcher put it in to be claimed. I doubt it.
Yeah, so they probably shipped him over to Mr. Todd there. Yeah. Maybe his birthday present. Who knows? Yeah, she's gonna be tough off that last race. She ran a big figure, 1 by 8. Castellanos here. Big race off 6 with left. Could bounce. You never know. That's why I have a backup plan. Another horse here. But she's gonna be tough. I see that the Bortolado stables, they're here with War Story, so they took the same van, and I guess she's here to keep War Story company by buddies, stablemate buddies. So, to be a short price and to do well. I do like number 8, Angel War. Joe Barrow's here, Michael Gorham. That last race, actually, he was a pretty good race. Open company, off the slight layoff. Just couldn't catch that winner. And she ran on to her a good figure. And she do well here. She's been working bullets at law since then. Actually, no, the bullets are the workouts for the race. But this horse has been in good form. And only won her first 6, so she's trying to find the winner's circle once again after a couple of races early this year. So, but it's a good spot for her. This is a good fit. If anything happens to Ascertain, doesn't run on, whatever, this horse can find herself on the lead and in good shape, the top of stretch. So 8-1, I'll take that price. So I'll go 6-8 in this race. Rich?
It was hard to do. I agree with Joe. I think it's a tough race. I think you could go one of two ways. Either you're going to go deep, Mr. English did there, or you're going to single ascertain, as I did here. So I'm betting Tom Fletcher horses like crazy at Gulfstream Park. I figure, what the heck, might as well throw them in there at Charlestown as well. Ascertain has put up a very big speed figure there in that last race. I did kind of, I've got the little squinty-eyed smiley face going when I see Bill Mott, being taken as the away from the trainer and going to Todd Fletcher. But let's face it, we're not going to question Fletcher. The horse looks like she's got the speed, the pace figures, and everything to go her way. So this is my single. I'm just on the 6. Ray is on the 6-8. And Joe, I like to start tuning, but the ticket here, Joe's got 2-3-6-8. Come on back to you.
Spread them.
Spread them.
That's right.
Get your money here. All right. And we are going on to the finale. This is the big one. This is what we're all here for today. It's race number 11. They are going 1 mile and 1/8 on the main surface. Charlestown Classic Stakes. It's a grade 2. Purse is down a little bit now. Purse is down to 1.2 million for 4-year-olds and upward. 7 starters, and your morning line favorite starts from post number 6. It's Diversify, trained by Ron Violet Jr. and ridden by Irad Ortiz. 8-5 on the Charlestown morning line. It's still one of the top purses for older horses in the country outside the Breeders' Cup. And sadly, it is also the last race that the ill-fated Shared Belief ever started. All right, Ray, you get the big race this week. Who do you like in the Classic?
Where's Stanford?
Retired.
Yeah, he's retired. You can read your marathon. You know, there's that commercial every weekend.
One more time.
How do you think I knew that?
No, it was West Coast putting its race. It's shot after Dubai. Well, we got a horse here who's happy to see Gunwire retired. It's my top choice, War Story. Very happy to see Gunrunner retired. He just couldn't catch him. He couldn't run with him. You saw his tail most of the time.
Very good.
That being said, he won by 5 his last race, and no good to run around in Tampa. So he's gonna have a good, have a good year. He's got experience at the track. He ran last year, finished 3rd by half to Imperative. That's a Charlestown monster. So the win here could have him a good year in the handicap division, and Castellanos here, Jorge Navarro. They're here for some good money, and they'll be working at World Gulfstream, so they're shipping up here and trying to get the money. The experience really helps. This is a 3-turn race. If you guys, they start at the top of the backstretch, and they go around and around. So it seems like a long race, but it's only a mile and 1/8. But this horse did last year. He ran 3rd, so I'll go with him this year. Trying to come back. I did go with number 6 to Diversify. Off the layoff, stayed east for the clock. Then go to the Breeders' Cup. I did with the Jackson Gold Cup, so he could have qualified to go. He's I'm not sure he's the same outside the New York racing circuit, NYOA. He just been winning a state breds. He did win a Jockey Club against a decent field. I won't say that was a stellar field. It was a grade 1 win, so I guess some black type there. This year might be a little different. It's a long layoff to come back for this race, so he's kind of vulnerable for me. He'll be on my ticket, but because you got speed, and speed's dangerous here. But he'll be vulnerable. And I did have another horse also in mind, number 4, Something Awesome. This horse loved the 9 furlong. They stretched him out, and he looked like a different horse. He really excelled. He'd been closing in sprints, and then his first mile and 8 race in a long time. He just set off the lead, and he ran a big race at Laurel, and this could be his future. He might be a 9 furlong horse, and a good race here could lead him to some good races. Maybe probably stay on the East Coast in Belmont or whatever. So Prado's here. Nice to see Edgar Prado again. And 8-1. That's a good price. I'll pick 4. So I'll go 5-6-4 in this 3-turn Merry-Go-Round Charlestown Classic. Joe?
I hope it's not a merry-go-round, because if it's a merry-go-round, neither one of the horses I have are going to win. At least I don't think so. Anyway, I'm actually on two of the same horses you are, Ray, and I'm kind of against Diversify also. He's going to be a short price, as you mentioned, but he is dropping out of Grade 1 company. But the presence of a Fleet Willie makes me have cause for concern, because obviously he's been showing a lot of speed lately in his last two. He's going to press Diversify. I don't see that they're going to back off. What may be best for Diversify is they let a Fleet Willie go on, and they let Diversify just press the pace, or just attend the pace outside, because he's been able to win that way before. But again, going 9 furlongs, 3 turns off the bench, and at a short price, I'm going to agree with you. I'm kind of on the vulnerability bandwagon when it comes to Diversify. I mean, he could very well win, but it's funny. I remember back to last year's race, we were all betting on the speed horses, and then Imperative came from behind to win.
Mm-hmm.
But and the thing about it is, like I said, I like the 2 horses you're on. The War Story is my top pick, and Something Awesome. It's because they have some tactical speed, and they don't necessarily need to be on the lead. They could sit behind whatever happens between Diversify and a Fleet Willie, and maybe even to some extent, obviously, You're to Blame has shown a little speed as well. So I would be hesitant to take Diversify, and I'm more of the give me the 2 horses with tactical speed, and Something Awesome does come out of a really nice race, and and War Story's best at Tampa was really good. And it's funny because Ray's talking about Gun Run, finishing behind Gun Runner every time out. But hey, look at it this way: other than the Pegasus, he ran 4th in the Woodward, got a check. Ran 4th in the Breeders' Cup Classic, which is worth $6 million. Got a pretty nice check that day, I'm guessing. Yeah. So hey, he probably got about 600,000 for finishing 4th that day. So that's nothing to sneeze at. And when you think about it, 600,000 is about what he'd get if he won this race tomorrow. And of course, like you said, Castellano gets stays aboard. I couldn't really single War Story because Jorge Navarro's horses, they generally run good at Monmouth and they run good in South Florida. Elsewhere, he's got question marks. So I couldn't single War Story, but to me, he is the horse to beat. Like I said, I'm just off the Diversify bandwagon only because I think there's some other speed in here. And winning at 9 furlongs off the bench, I mean, not saying he can't do it, but if he's going to try that at a short price, I'm going to be the one to bet against it. So War Story is my top pick, and Something Awesome would be my underneath pick, but both on my top line for the Charlestown Classic. Rich.
Oh, I missed another one. I missed Something Awesome as well. The other one that you guys haven't covered so far. So I do have Diversify. I have the 5 as my top pick here. I've got War Story with the check mark. So me and Ray kind of handicapping and Joe handicapping together tonight. I thought War Story, again, the tactical speed, Jorge Navarro. I'm betting my Gulfstream Park. Javier Castellano and Jorge Navarro. Lots of grade 1s there, and then a big win there in the Challenger. So I thought that was a top pick. Again, not going to single him. I thought Diversify with the early pace, and I'm assuming Ron Violet, going to have him ready to run for a big race. So I do have the 5 and the 6 as my top 2 choices. But my imperative of this year, the horse that actually could have almost been my top pick, is going to be the 1. I'm not real familiar with this jockey, so Luis Negron. But I do like the fact that him and Efren Loza, they've got a little bit of magic combination, the 3-5 together. And this is that off the pace that Joe just alluded to it. So last year, Imperative managed to catch up to a real brutal pace or a real brutal cavalry charge as we saw last year at Charlestown, as everybody knows. Even though the back page shows it's a 50-50 race as far as a 1 1/8 is concerned, from the back and from the front. So me, I kind of like to go 1 from the back, or in this case, 2 from the front, 1 from the back. I've got the 5, the 6, and I also have the 1, Fear the Cowboy. Fear the Cowboy really might be my top pick in this race. Ray has the 5, the 6, and the 4. And Joe, I think you've just got the 5 and the 4?
Yes.
All right. Come on back, and we will go ahead and put our ticket together.
While Rich is doing that, just in case anybody wants to do this, and I'm always up early every day anyway, so I will probably do it. Starting tomorrow, April 21st is tomorrow, correct? Yes. Starting tomorrow, if you go to, I believe it's either KentuckyDerby.com or ChurchillDowns.com, the training hours for the Derby and Oaks hopefuls start tomorrow. They're broadcasting it on the web, and I want to say it's from 4:30 to 5 o'clock Pacific time. So 7:30 to 8 o'clock on the East Coast is the time where the Oaks and Derby hopefuls will be training. If you're interested in that kind of thing and you might want to watch it, like I said, I'm an early bird, so I'll probably be up anyway, so I'll probably tune in. And if you want to watch the Derby hopefuls work over the track, you'll get a chance to do that.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Solid 6-foot level guys. 1 mile.
There aren't too many who work a mile, but
I know.
I'm guessing they probably won't. You might see one, but it's not going to be Baffert. I can pretty much guarantee you that.
Was it Alan Jokins once walked that horse in 2 miles? I think.
Yeah, I think so. I've seen Mandela do it. I've seen, if I remember right, Billy Mott has done it. Graham Motion may have done it.
Yeah.
But that's a rare move to see nowadays.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Joe, who was your top pick in leg 3? You were 40. I know. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. I struggled to have a top pick. I guess I'd go with the 2. I go with Lake Pontchartrain as my top choice if gun to head.
Yeah. I just let the 10 as our single in the opening leg.
Yeah.
Are we gonna? But Rich, are you not putting your top choice in there?
I just started. I kind of started this way.
Okay.
That's why I was asking you about which was your top pick. So I had 6-8 there, 4 times 3.
So that'd be 48.
That would be 48. That's why I was. That was the debate in my head. Do we need the 4 in that first leg to go to 48, or do we? Because Ray's got the 7 as well.
Mm-hmm. 48 works for me. If we added the 7, but the 7's not his top. The 7's not your top pick, right?
No, it's 10-7.
Okay.
Top line, but not top pick.
It would be 72 if we added that horse. It would be 3 by 4 by 3 by 4. 12 by 12. Yeah, 72. So we'll stick with 48.
If you want, because either we could chalk out or it could be a big one.
No.
It could be a big one.
It could chalk out, absolutely. And then we may hit the ticket and lose money. That's
well, you got 2. You got to figure you got 2 options here on diversifying. Or excuse me, 3 on diversify. He's the favorite in the final leg. So there's 3 options to get past the favorite there.
Right. And 3 options in leg 2.
And ascertain. I kept calling him ascertain. Let me show you how bad it's been this week. Ascertain is the predominant favorite in leg 3, and we've got 3 choices. So we've got 2 possibilities to get by the favorite in that leg.
I just hope.
Big going.
Yeah, I just. It's funny though, because how many times have we talked about going so deep to catch the favorite?
Exactly.
So that's part of the game we play.
Yeah.
But yeah, 48. 48. It's fine with me, and yeah, hopefully.
Good price for us.
I'm just hopeful to at least make money back that at least one of the favorites loses and one of our horses beats one of the favorites. At least get one of the favorites beat.
Yeah.
Any more than one, and yeah, you'd definitely make money.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're looking at 410 with 5-6, 810 with 268 with 1456.
That's correct.
All right. Save that here. Save my change here. And back to presentation. And we'll go ahead and wrap this one up. Stop. I get dizzy sometimes when it does that.
That's why I try not to look.
All right.
I just close my eyes.
Well, for those of you watching, if you enjoyed our show, well, unfortunately, we're not going to be back next week because next week is the break. It's kind of like that gap year for college kids and things like that. It's the week before the Derby. It gives us our extra week to go ahead and prepare. You should all be taking your gap week next week. There will be no Three Broke Guys handicapping next Friday. I'm not even sure if they have racing next Friday. Are
they? Unfortunately, Rich, as much as I'd love to say that they don't, yeah, no, they definitely do.
They do. All right.
We'll put some notes on the page, on the Facebook page.
I will tell you, the exciting thing is the very next time that the Three Broke Guys handicapping get together, it will be for Kentucky Derby. It's
2 weeks, man. 2 weeks.
It's the big one. It's the big show. It's the one that we're all prepping for every single year, and we've actually made it to it. So, I'm looking forward to the gap week. I always like to have that down week that gives me an extra week to handicap for the Kentucky Derby. I'm hoping that you all enjoy it, gentlemen. I'm hoping you enjoy it. As you know, it is always a pleasure to handicap with the two of you.
Yes, it is.
It's always fun, and hopefully everybody else enjoys it as much as we do.
For Joe English and Ray Torado, I'm Rich Sharp. Thank you for watching Three Broke Guys Handicapping. Good luck and good night.
All right. See you at the Derby.